Welcome to Cord Cutting Today for April 26, 2019. This is the show where I give you a quick look at some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting right now. If you want to learn more about these stories, in the show notes down below I'll put a link to each story so you can read about them for yourself, come up with your own opinions. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we're doing here. And hopefully we can help you break free from the high-cost cable TV, but still watch the shows you want to enjoy. First story of the day, Sling TV has a free preview happening. Back in 2017, they launched a bundle deal where you can get 4 of their add-ons: the Kids Extra, the Lifestyles, the News, and the Comedy Plus Extra add-on for $10 a month. Typically $20 if you get them all separately, but this bundle you get them for $10. Well, right now, until May 19th, all Sling TV subscribers, from our understanding, get a free preview of this add-on bundle. So you should just see them appear in your channel lineup, and it's a free preview for you to test out and enjoy until the end of May 19th, 2019. After that, if you want to continue receiving these channels, you'll need to add that to your Sling TV account. This is a really great deal, especially with the $15 a month deal for the first 3 months Sling TV is offering right now. Add in these 4 additional packages for $10, so for $25 you're getting a ton of channels, or in this case, getting them for free with your $15 a month Sling add-on. Let me know if you enjoy these channels, if you want to see all the channels included. Again, link in the show notes down below. Next up, Locast is coming to Android TV. So Locast is a free streaming service that offers local access to locals in select markets like Dallas and New York City and more, where you can stream locals for free. It was on Roku, came to Fire TV recently, and now it's come to Android TV. Apple TV users can access it through the AirPlay feature on your Apple TV. It's a pretty cool feature. Of course, though, it runs off of donations. Even though there's no official fee, you do get interruptions if you don't donate. But it's a cool one more free option out there for cord cutters. Of course, an antenna is always a great option, but if you live in an area where maybe one of the channels is kind of weak, Locast is a great way to fill in that gap. So check it out. It's only in a handful of markets. They do say they do plan to continue to roll out to new markets. They're fundraising for that. They say it takes about $250,000 to roll out a new market, to buy the equipment, rent the space, because you physically have to put the antenna and the server and all that somewhere in that market. So they have to keep raising money for that before they're going to continue to roll out, and they're taking donations for that over at their website. From my understanding, the people who raise the city who raises the most money, I guess, will be the city who gets it first. So check that out if you're interested in getting Locast. All right, and hey, anybody here use Locast? I live in an area where it's not available. I have been to markets where it is and tested it out. I'd love to hear from you what you think of it from people who use it all the time. Leave us a comment. Let me know. I love your feedback. Maybe you can help somebody else decide if they want it. All right, next story of the day. A new study has backed up what I've been saying for a while, that cord cutting will continue to accelerate in 2019. You know, a few months ago, there was all kinds of talk about how cord cutting was going to slow down in 2019, wasn't expected to continue to grow. Well, we got the first wave of earnings, and Comcast, AT&T, Verizon lost over 900,000 subscribers in just the first 3 months of 2019. That doesn't include Spectrum, that doesn't include Dish, that doesn't include all the other cable providers. Just Comcast, AT&T, and Verizon losing over 900,000. That's a devastating loss right there. No matter what they try to couch it in internet subs gained, you know my opinion, the future of cord cutting is cutting the cord on internet. We'll get to that in a minute. But this new study comes from a new research group, the Convergence Research Group, I apologize if I mispronounced that, has said that they expect cord cutting to accelerate in 2019 to over 4.5 million American households canceling cable TV in 2019. My question to you is, are you one of those? Are you thinking about canceling the cord this year? Have you canceled the cord this year? Question to you, why? What did you go with? I'd love to hear what is your setup that made you cancel cable. Now, I have backed this up for some time that I thought that cord cutting was accelerating from talking to people, just average people, that everything I'm hearing is pointing to cord cutting continue to accelerate. 2018 set records. I expect 2019 to continue to set records. Sometimes cable supporters try to create straw men. Well, we expected cord cutting to get 5 million. It only is going to get 4.7 million. That's kind of one of those arguments you hear a lot about with stocks. You know, it's like, oh, we thought You know, they made up $10 trillion, but we thought they were going to do an extra 0.1 million or something. So we're all upset about it. It's kind of one of those arguments there. When the truth is, cord cutting is just continuing to roll down the hill, continuing to pick up pace, continuing to grow. And I think this is a big part. Now, a lot of people have been pointing to, well, you know, Comcast saw more internet subscribers. That's great, but TV is very profitable for them, and continuing to lose TV is still a major hit on them. Now, one thing to remember here, we have a lot of new internet providers that are going to start launching this year and next year and into the future. You got the 5G services from Google, Dish, Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, Charter, and more all get in there. Charter wants to launch 5G in Comcast markets and other competitors' markets so they can compete there where they haven't been able to compete in the past. This could be the future of the next phase of cord cutting. Not only will you have an option of what TV provider you want, but hey, maybe you're going to get T-Mobile internet. Maybe you're going to get your home internet from Verizon. Maybe it's going to be from AT&T. People argue, well, that's still, you know, kind of helping the big companies. There's other ones like Dish and so forth getting into it. But the real point here is competition. When competition enters in the market, they can't do what they used to do in the past. They'll have to compete for home internet like they're having to compete for cellular phones, like they're having to compete now for TV. And when there's competition, it's a good thing for the end consumer. So keep an eye on this. Yes, Comcast may in the short term be benefiting from growing numbers of home internet or home internet subscribers, but how long are they going to be able to continue to do things like data caps when Verizon and T-Mobile and all these other companies are bringing in home internet services through 5G or fixed wireless that don't have a data cap? How long will people stick with Comcast if they have 4 or 5 other options that offer similar speeds for a similar or cheaper price with no data cap? That's the future of cord cutting. That's something to keep an eye on. We're still in the early days of cord cutting. It's going to take a while to get completely where we want to be, but we're moving there. Every time somebody cancels, puts more pressure on Comcast, puts more desire out there in the market for internet services from places like T-Mobile and Verizon and Dish and all these other providers. It's going to continue to speed up the growth of cord cutting. So keep a very close eye on this. At some point, we're going to hit a tipping point where this just gets out of control beyond the ability of Comcast or Spectrum or others to manage and control what's happening in the world of internet and home TV. So I'm very excited about it. I've talked about this a lot. It's something really to keep an eye on is the rollout of 5G home internet, the rollout of fixed wireless, the rollout of fiber in towns. As there's more internet options, that's going to be truly revolutionary. We got SpaceX, Amazon, and others launching satellites into low Earth orbit, far lower than current satellite internet providers to offer a far better internet plan with faster speeds there. And according to Google and SpaceX, they intend to offer it worldwide. There will now be the ability to have an internet service, and no matter where you are, as long as you get a satellite signal, you'll be able to get internet. So keep a close eye on this. Very excited for the future, and I think we're just seeing the beginning of the speed of cord cutting. All right, next story. DIRECTV Now adds support for Discovery apps. So last night, DIRECTV Now started contacting the subscribers, letting them know that Discovery apps will now let you log in with your DIRECTV Now login. Now, that channel needs to be in your package. You know, there's many tiers of DIRECTV Now. If that channel is not included in your package, you won't get access to it. I always get this question, well, you know, I see the Science channel supports DIRECTV Now, but it doesn't work. I often ask, well, is your DIRECTV Now version have the Science channel, for example? Just picking a random channel here. And often it's no. Well, yeah, there's maybe another package higher up that offers it, or the TLC, etc. So just keep that in mind. The channel actually needs to be in your lineup to get support for it. But if it is, you can now access it through the DIRECTV or Discovery Go apps. This gives you access to even more content on demand from Discovery channels. Even though DIRECTV Now does include a lot of on-demand content from Discovery built into the DIRECTV Now app, this means you're going to get even more content from them in the future through the app. So keep a close eye on that. Next story of the day, we have a date finally for Viacom coming to Fubo TV. A couple weeks ago, Fubo TV announced that Viacom channels would be coming. Now we learned next Tuesday, April 30th, Viacom channels will launch on Vomo TV. This gives you a lot of channels for a decent price. Now, it's still missing Disney channels, but they pretty much have all the other major channels now included with Vomo TV. Now, there will be some different tiers there in the post down below. I'll put a link to it if you want to see which ones be in the base package, which is the more popular ones, the ones you expect. Some of the smaller Discovery channels, or Viacom channels, excuse me, my apologies, will be in their add-on if you want to get some of those other ones. But for Vomo TV subscribers, this is great news. Soon you'll be able to watch Viacom channels at your current rate, so keep that in mind. And last story of the day, Comcast is in talks with Disney to sell their share of Hulu to Disney. Now, we learned about a week ago that Hulu, not Disney, Hulu had bought AT&T's 9.5% of Hulu. So Hulu owns that. According to Hulu, at some point in the future, Comcast or Disney will have the chance to buy that share back from Hulu. But for right now, Comcast owns just over 30% and Disney owns just over 60% of Hulu. Disney bought Fox's 30% a while back, which gave them 60%. They absorbed like 0.25% recently from AT&T. So did Comcast. That each gave them just over 30% and just over 60%. Well, now it's being reported that Disney's looking to buy Comcast's 30%, at least in negotiations. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to happen. A lot of people have wrote it as a pretty much of a done deal. This is really a point where they're in negotiations. These negotiations could easily fall apart, but I do think it's more than likely. Comcast only recently got voting rights. Now that Disney has double the shares, really Comcast doesn't have a lot of say in what happens with Hulu like they did when it was a 30-30-30 split between the three companies. So keep a close eye on this. I would not be surprised if this happens. Disney's already talked about the idea that Hulu would be for the more mature content out there. The R-rated stuff would be on Hulu. The family-friendly stuff will be more on Disney+. There's even been talks of Disney, they've repeatedly talked about the idea of a bundle deal. Well, now, no details announced, but the idea is you save a little bit of money if you get ESPN+, Hulu, and Disney, or maybe Hulu and Disney Plus together would be another bundle, but that you could pair these together and get a far cheaper rate than if you would buy each one separately. Is that a $5 discount? Is that a $10 discount? We don't know, but it sounds like Disney intends to, in the future, offer bundles of their different streaming services. Disney's really getting into streaming, and it sounds like soon they will own a majority of Hulu to expand that even more. My question to you is, are you excited about Disney owning the majority of Hulu, or are you a little nervous about this? Disney has kind of been one of the early supporters of cord cutting. When Sling TV first launched, it was very revolutionary, and Disney kind of helped that happen. Disney made ESPN available, something that people thought would never happen in a streaming service like Sling TV back then. Got to think back a few years ago. This is before Sling. This is before PlayStation View or YouTube TV or Hulu with live TV. The fact that Disney agreed to bring ESPN, one of the main channels for cable, to a streaming service like Sling TV changed the game a lot. That they brought Disney and Disney Junior and all that to Sling TV really changed the game. And now they've really been pushing into streaming even more heavily. They struck a Netflix deal. Now they're launching Disney Plus. Now they're getting into Hulu more. So Disney seems serious about understanding the world of streaming. Why? Well, there's been reports that 70% of the average audience of the Disney Channel from 2014 is now gone. That people watching networks like the Disney Channel is just plummeting compared to what it used to be. And how true that is, it's hard to say, but that's been the reports. Well, when you see those kind of drops in numbers, you can understand why Disney will say, hey, we want into streaming more, so we're going to double down on Hulu, we're going to double down on Disney Plus, we're going to double down on ESPN Plus. We'll see what happens in the long run. Disney's even hinted someday in the distant future, maybe you'll be able to subscribe to ESPN's core channels, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, etc., through ESPN Plus. Now they've said that's like way down the road, but the fact that that even concept has come up kind of points out the fact that we're in a very different world today. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Comcast may be seeing this as a way to get some quick cash. They just spent a lot of money buying the Sky service in the UK and in Europe, expanding their presence. So maybe they're looking for some quick cash, similar to what AT&T did. My question to you again is, what do you think of this? What do you think of Disney's move into a heavier presence in streaming? I'd love to hear from you. Well, everybody, that's it for today. A lot of big news happening. Keep an eye over at corecarsnews.com and let us know what you think of the stories. I'd love to hear from you. If you watch these videos all the time, don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. We update Monday through Saturday now, Monday through Friday, daily update, Saturday, our weekly updates. So I'll see you tomorrow. If I don't, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'll be back here on Monday, and we got some big news happening next week, so keep an eye out on that. So I'll see you next week. Take care, everybody, and be safe this weekend.